Hello, welcome to my channel, and thank you for being here. Um, I have something I want to talk about. It is CBS, okay, and it's Miss Margaret Brennan, right? Margaret Brennan. Now, she's on CBS, okay, and she should know about why World War One or Two started. She probably should know World War One too, but who knows? The two she did not. So uh, Vance, okay, he was over there in Europe, and he did a speech in Germany, and he was basically telling them that he was not happy. Um, he was feeling he was sad, and he that they were losing their freedom of speech there. Pretty much, to break down, they're losing their freedom of speech. It's not good, and he's worried about that. Um, and Miss Brennan, Margaret, was talking with Rubio. Let's see here. Let's see if I could just get like the beginning of it.
In a phone call with Russia's top diplomat.
Raised concerns about his diplomatic mission in the United States.
Of a far-right party known as the AFD, which, as you know, is under investigation.
So this is
and monitoring
her
by German intelligence because of extremism. What did all of this accomplish other than irritating our allies?
And she's asking
why would
Rubio.
Our allies or anybody be irritated by free speech and by someone giving their opinion? We are, after all, democracies. The Munich Security Conference is largely a conference of democracies in which one of the things that we cherish and value is the ability to speak freely and provide your opinions. And so I think if anyone's angry about his word, they don't have to agree with him, but to be angry about it, I think actually makes his point. I thought it was actually a pretty historic speech, whether you agree with him or not. I think the valid points he's making to Europe is we are concerned that the true values that we share, the values that bind us together with Europe, are things like free speech and democracy and our shared history in winning 2 world wars and defeating Soviet communism and the like. These are the values that we shared in common. And in that Cold War, we fought against things like censorship and oppression and so forth. And when you see backsliding and you raise that, that's a very valid concern. We can't tell them how to run their countries. He simply expressed in a speech his view of it, which a lot of people, frankly, share. And I thought he said a lot of things in that speech that needed to be said. And honestly, I don't know why anybody would be upset about it. People are allowed, you don't have to agree with someone's speech. I happen to agree with a lot of what he said, but you don't have to agree with someone's speech to at least appreciate the fact they have a right to say it, and that you should listen to it and see whether those criticisms are valid. I assure you, the United States has come under withering criticism on many occasions from many leaders in Europe, and we don't go around throwing temper tantrums about it.
Well, he was standing in a country where free speech was weaponized to conduct a genocide. And he met with the head of a political party that has far-right views and some historic ties to extreme groups.
Really? She's serious.
Was changing the tone of it. And you know that the censorship was specifically about the right.
No, I have to disagree with you. Free speech was not used to conduct a genocide. The genocide was conducted by an authoritarian Nazi regime that happened to also be genocidal because they hated Jews and they hated minorities and they hated those that they had a list of people they hated, but primarily the Jews. There was no free speech in Nazi Germany. There was none. There was also no opposition in Nazi Germany. They were a sole and only party that governed that country. So that's not an accurate reflection of history. I also think it's wrong. Again, I go back to the point of his speech. Okay, the point of his speech was basically that there is an erosion in free speech and intolerance for opposing points of view within Europe, and that's of concern.
And that's about it, because we want that. We want them to have free speech, right? I mean, without free speech, there's nothing. But for her to actually sit there and be like, well, this is why free speech is what caused World War II. No, it did not cause World War II. It Hitler, the hate for the Jews. He was that. It was Hitler. It totally. She just did not know what she was talking about, which is odd because I would think that she would know what she's talking about. Yeah, so it seems to be going downhill. I mean, if they're going to be just spewing anything, that's not okay. It's not okay. You don't just spew anything out there. I mean, it wasn't even true what she said. I mean, my goodness, you know? But yeah, so I'm hoping that she did know. She did know that. Hopefully. Maybe they were just paying her to say stuff like that. Crossing my fingers. Because I remember, and that's a long time ago when I was in high school. I remember the history. And I knew, all about World War II, even World War I. I mean, you learn that in history. World Civ. But, yeah. So, I would have expected more, But, yeah. So, free speech is important. And we need it. We should have free speech. And we were this close to losing it. This close. I mean, Kamala and Biden, I mean, we were this close to losing it. I mean, they were censor. They wanted to censor us big time. And we still have some of those kooks in there. I mean, Ayanna Pressley? Yeah, she's one. She said it publicly on TV. Yeah, we're going to censor the people, the American people. That's what we want to do. And it's like, I kind of don't want to be censored. I kind of want free speech, but I digress. Yeah, that was just something I wanted to share with you. It just seems like they're going downhill. Down. But hey, if they don't know what they're talking about, they should not talk about it. That's all I'm saying. But thank you for joining me. And you have a wonderful day or night, depending on when you watch this. And I'll see you on my next video.